Richard Nixon.
Hi, my name's John Zant. I'm a graphic artist, painter. I'm 53 years old. I was born in Glendora, California, which is one city over from the famed Santa Monica, California, and the skateboarding that happened there. I was born in 1963.
Okay, I'm Shannon May. I play in a band called Sideburner, Double Wide, the Roebucks, and my stage name is JD Steele for that. But I'm known as Shannon May in real life.
My name's David Watney, aka Crazy Dave, aka Coach, stuff like that. I build skateboard parts for a living. And I skateboard and other things, you know, anything that isn't, that try not to run down the beaten path, you know.
My name is Al Gibson. I was born and raised out in the country outside of New Iberia. I was born in 1968. I've had a skateboard ever since I can remember. I don't know where I got one or how I got it, but I've had one my entire life. I've never gone a day without owning a skateboard.
It took off, you know, in the early 60s in California and swelled really fast, and a lot of people made a lot of money off of it. And because of the technology, it wasn't the safest thing. A couple kids got hurt. There was, you know, like any great press thing, there was a lot of fear-mongering about how, you know, skateboards are dangerous and crap like that. So it fell by the wayside really quickly. Fortunately for me, my brother apparently had bought a skateboard or had been given a skateboard, and I found that in the garage in, I guess it would have been 68 because I was 5 years old. And living in California, we lived in a cul-de-sac, and I can remember riding that skateboard around on the cul-de-sac. It had clay wheels. It was a little bit more advanced than the traditional skateboard with steel wheels, at least. But it still sucked, you know, but I vividly remember riding it around and having fun on it and enjoying it. And it was a neat thing.
Basically been skating since I was born, because I was thinking about it in the womb. And I had to crawl into it. And once I was able to stand on it, it exploded into the atmosphere.
I got a skateboard when I was in 1984. I probably pushed around on my knee on it for like a year. Maybe even before that, you know, we had like a banana board, whatever. But I didn't understand what skateboarding was probably until like 1985. And I got my first skateboard from Radical Dan's.
Now we're moving up into the early 70s, and more than anything, I wanted a professional skateboard. So I bugged my father and bugged my father and bugged my father and mowed lawns and cut wood and cut wood and cut wood. And Skateboarder magazine, which was the absolute Bible, you would buy at 7-Eleven. You can't buy shit at 7-Eleven like that anymore, but you would go to, I can remember buying the second issue of Skateboarder magazine ever, and in it that had this these ads that we would study just with a freaking magnifying glass if you're lucky to have enough. And it was for a company called Val Surf. And on one page, Val Surf would cram like 80 freaking skateboards, completes. Everything, it had a complete description of every board, the board, the wheel, the truck, the size. It was hilarious.
And the first time I saw a half pipe, I was probably 7 years old, and I didn't know what the hell it was. It was just this big wooden thing, and people were riding on it, and I was getting fussed at for not doing my swimming lessons right, and I was intrigued. I was just like, what the hell is this shit? You know?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are these people doing, you know? So and that was kind of the spark. That was like, G.I. Joes, threw them away. I was like, what is this? I want this. And that was it.
And I can remember studying that thing for hours and convincing my father that he needed to part with $88 plus shipping to get this board to me in 4 to 6 weeks. And that was the longest 4 to 6 weeks of my life. I can remember coming home every day from school asking if the UPS guy had come. And when that skateboard got there, I was just absolutely tickled pink because, you know, living in a mountain resort now, because I'm not in the deserts, I really didn't need a kicktail skateboard because we didn't have ditches really anymore. We had these really big bombing hills. I was skiing a lot, so my first real skateboard was a Gordon & Smith Pro Slalom, built for going incredibly fast and running slalom cones with half tracks and power paws. Just a great downhill deck. I loved it. I took my spare, since I was an only child and I had spare electric toothbrush heads, I can remember using my spare toothbrush heads to keep it clean.
Pretty much skateboarded by myself first part of my life. Growing up, there wasn't, back in the early 70s, there wasn't any skateboarding around here at all, especially the country outside of New Iberia. But somehow I had one and I just skateboarded in my driveway, in the streets. Somewhere I probably saw in a magazine a ramp, so I scrapped together wood wherever I could and started building ramps. And I just basically grew up skateboarding by myself and taught myself.
And that was it. That's what started it. And from then on, it's been, I go to sleep every night thinking about 360 flips.
I came here in 81 to go to school. When I came here in 81 to UL, I don't remember anybody on campus skateboarding but me. Anybody. At the time, I had this enormous, giant 12-inch board over there, this big whale that I rode more than anything else. They still had the bowling alley there over the swamp, and I can remember coming and jumping off that four-step there, that forest stair, and people just absolutely losing their mind like it was, like they'd never seen it. It was just very strange. I really felt out of place. I had a mohawk. I wore Vans. I know there was a skate culture here, but I didn't know anything about it because I wasn't from here.
But there's never been much of anything around here. Houston was the closest place where you went to, you know, see any kind of culture, skate culture, punk rock. Lafayette's getting better. And pretty much Louisiana, Lafayette's always been the center.
I left here 7th grade and moved to Orlando, which had a big skateboard scene, and it took off from there. Got sponsors and started entering contests and did the whole East Coast thing, up and down, doing first place, and it turned into pro sponsorship. And then moved back to Lafayette, and my sponsors wanted me to go to San Diego. So I went to live out there for several years until I was in an earthquake, and it brought me back here.
I just started traveling, and back then skateboarding and punk rock music and that whole kind of culture was very small and very underground, and wherever you went, anybody you met, you were instant friends and automatic friends, and you always stayed in touch. So, like I said, I would go to Houston, and that was like my first friends, and from Houston we would kind of take road trips from there and then travel more and more and more. And then I'd meet the guys from California. And back then, all those famous guys you see in the videos, Dogtown, Z-Boys, that documentary, all that, that was the only other skateboarders in the world.
My sister-in-law said, hey, they've got this skateboard thing that they've opened up, you know, down the road. Would you like to go to it? So we go to this thing, and what it was Carlsbad, California, which was the first, or if not the first, one of the first skateboard parks ever built out near San Diego. It was this huge skateboard park, acres, literally acres of concrete. So I spent the entire summer there surfing every morning and skateboarding every afternoon, and did that every summer until I graduated from high school. So for 4 years, I spent my summer surfing and skateboarding, living in California with my brother.
The strange thing about contests, once I turned pro, it was like a switch. I didn't do good in them. Amateur contests, I was always first place or second place. But pro contests, it was like you were getting shoved into a position to skate against your idols from the magazines. So I had to skate against Gans in France. That was my first pro contest. And it gave me like, well, what the fuck's going on? So over the years, I just kind of stood away from contests as a pro and did more demos and magazine shoots.
Like anything, people got to make money, and it becomes a business. And the guys who own the companies, they weren't interested. They, you know, they got to make a living, and that would take the fun out of it. Competitions, and you know, they wanted you to. That's when they tried to put rules on it and all that. So I just didn't really enjoy that part of it all. And now I think it's going to be in the Olympics. So it's all kind of a shock to see it change so much. But I should have realized it, because no matter where I went in the world, and no matter who you met, what race, culture, religion, it didn't matter. If you skateboarded, you were friends, and it's like you thought the same way. You were doing something that you enjoyed. There was no money to be made. There was no, it's not like today, it was not on TV. It was just about something that was in your heart. I don't know. I found a skateboard as a child, or it found me.
I'm Jared Aber. I'm 23 years old. I'm originally from Jennings, Louisiana. Grew up skating throughout my childhood in the South. Moved away in 2011, lived in San Francisco, California for about roughly 6-7 years, and recently just moved back. Work for Ruckus Lafayette now, skate shop.
My name is Dan Roberts. I'm a skateboarder, a shareholder of Ruckus Board Shop, the owner and creative director of Black Rainbow Skateboards, and I'm a tourist. I'm not a tourist.
My name is Logan Clothier, and I am the owner of the Levy Skate Park in Lafayette, Louisiana. We opened July of 2016, and that's what I do. I work here pretty much every day, 6 days a week.
My name is Lindsay Weekly. I skateboard. I'm the manager and cook at Cedar Grocery. Just a mom. I take care of the skate park, and that's about it.
Yeah, I don't really remember much about birth, you know. It's one of those crazy things, you know, but I started skating like 1998. And it was kind of a completely different thing back then, which is not that long ago, but the skateboarding world being such a young thing still, it's evolving at a very quick rate. So things tend to happen and change. It was different, you know. I went to a high school with 3,000 people. There might have been a group of 8 to 10 people that skated.
I mean, I got picked on because I was a tomboy. I had a horrible sense of dress. I still do. Sense of style, I guess. I'd wear those little baggy boy shirts and shirts, so I got made fun of a lot. I could see how for other people it would be intimidating, all these boys and there's no girls. And the only girls that were there were like girlfriends, and they were much older than me. But it would just be the intimidation. When we were bringing girls over here every week for like a little skate jam get together, they didn't want to skate in front of the boys because they thought they'd get judged or get made fun of because they couldn't. Or just harassment in general. Like I've had that problem too. They're just sitting there as I skate, they're staring up my ass because I was wearing a skirt and I had shorts underneath it though, and you couldn't.
Skateboarding originated in California, came out of there in America, so down here it's kind of looked upon because most kids down here grow up playing baseball, football, standard sports. Out here, skateboarding and most action sports they're not looked down upon, it's growing bigger, but people still aren't quite used to seeing skateboarders in the streets. They don't know how to take it when they see us.
And it was definitely a different dynamic. We weren't cool, we were like, by all means, social outcast, and it was just funny, just picked on. We weren't nerds, but we weren't jocks, and we were like somewhere in this gray area of a thing that nobody really knew like how to peg, and that made people uncomfortable, I think. So like that made us in turn pretty easy targets. The 8 or 10 guys that were involved with it was genuine and real, so it really didn't matter to me what other people thought about it.
Well, I kind of stepped away from skating. I was working oil field and stuff like that, and I didn't have the time or didn't want to get hurt. So I kind of stepped away from it for about 2 years, and then when I got back in, I realized we had this scene and we didn't have a park. Our last park was closed for like 4 years. And you know, you see all these kids skating around, and we got nothing. You know, the city's so flat, so there's not a lot of places to skate. There's very few public options. So I just got together with friends, talked, and decided to make this happen.
I built the levee. It was frustrating because that was the first time I really had to deal with a lot more like Lafayette codes. Even though I had talked to these people over the last 15 years, the same people over and over again, they know what I'm building. The codes have changed, and because it's so close to downtown, you know, it's a little more on their stomping grounds, the consolidated government and stuff.
So I worked 6 days a week as like an 18-year-old kid running a shop that I knew nothing about. Like I knew nothing about business at all, but like I was passionate enough, and like I gave a shit enough about skateboarding and like the things that it gave back to me to like figure it out. Probably not the best way to do it, but at the time that's what it was going on, so that's what I did. Moved away to Colorado for about 6 years, came back, kind of started working back at the shop, you know, on the weekends, just if they needed help, this and that. Well, that kind of turned into part-time, which turned into full-time after I finished school. And yeah, I just had the opportunity to like be a bigger part of it, and you know, it's something that I was and still am very passionate about. So I have a share, and hopefully this year I'll be the full owner of this location, which like I'm super proud and like ultra grateful to even have that opportunity, and be a part of something that I genuinely love and believe in so much.
I think it makes a lot of people happy. It takes a lot of time out of my life, but I enjoy it. It's tiring sometimes, you know, because it's a passion project. There's not a lot of money in it. There's very little money in it, but people seem to enjoy it. You know, everybody says you followed your dream, you did this. It's not that beautiful, but I'm definitely happy I did it. There's no regrets in it. I think it brings a lot of happiness, and then I enjoy it as well. It's a pretty easy job, and you get to see your friends every day, and you know, a lot of laughs. It's a good time.
The culture here is strong. We've always had an incredible skate culture here. We've produced some of the best skateboarders in the world have come out of South Louisiana. Al Gibson, Sal Barbier, Charlie Thomas, Dwayne Petrie, the current crew coming out of New Orleans right now. It's just unbelievable the people that we've had here. And you know, South Louisiana has always produced people in every genre of art, whether it's culture or skateboarding or anything, that excel just because of who we are down here. I think that our local crew is really strong. We do events for each other. We do events with each other. We love each other. We care about our community. We care about our bowl. It's a shame to see some of the idiots and hangers-on that come and hang out in the scene and don't contribute anything and cause a lot of problems with it.
Louisiana is like one of the last states I see to accept skateboarding. We still don't have public parks. We still don't have anything almost. We're still like the farthest behind in the whole evolution of it. Lafayette needs to get with the program. We need a good public park. The city needs to build a good skate park.
We recently got an indoor skate park, so everyone started going to the indoor skate park instead of taking care of what's already here, and it just went to hell since there's no local older skaters to be like, no, don't do that. So it's kind of getting back to its regular flow of less kooks, less drama, less trash.
Yeah, my name is Gerald Boudreaux. I'm the Director of Parks and Recreation for Lafayette Consolidated Government. We were phasing in the bowl and so many other things at that facility. And our plans and our intentions were to add on, to finish and continue to develop a complex. So yeah, when we did not have the ownership of the property anymore, then we abandoned those plans. But it's my hope that the university would continue in that same vein to provide that. I mean, they've done an excellent job with the student union and so many other facilities. It wouldn't take a whole lot of money to dedicate to that parcel there.
You go to any park in America and the baseball field and the other fields are empty, but all the kids are skateboarding. And you watch the little kids and they're all from every race, creed, color. They don't know any better. They're just all having a blast skateboarding.
Drugs and alcohol. A bunch of those. My dad has a beer right now. I think there's a dealer over there. I remember I came over here after I just painted the bowl. 2 heroin dealers pulled up trying to sell it to 15-year-olds. These kids that just get off of school, they have nothing to do, and they just go and hang out at the bowl. Posers, kooks, and they do stupid graffiti like this, and just it's a bad influence and image for skaters in general. And they get drunk and they throw shit in the bowl. We just have to pick up after them, and that's what people think skaters are, just these shitheads that do drugs.
One time I'm at the bowl, and this lady comes up, good-looking little MILF, and she got a cute little kid, maybe about 8 years old, and she brings him to the bowl, and he's hanging out with us, and we're spinning tunes, and we're having fun. Nobody's being too aggressive or aggro, and we're having a really, really good session. And it's just great, you know, and she's going on and on about how great everything is and how much fun it is and how much she loves hanging out there and yada yada. And I don't know this woman from fucking Eve. I ain't never seen her in my life. And eventually, just before she leaves, as she's packing up and getting ready to leave with her kids, she makes this comment that she's going to come back and she's just going to drop off Junior because she thinks that, you know, he'd have a lot of fun over there. It's a good thing. Don't drop your kid off at the skate park if you don't want your kid to pick up bad habits, especially when they're 8 years old. What are you, out of your mind? Just because it looks fun doesn't mean that there's not, like anything, it's got its issues.
The kids that would get high, we got rid of that. We used to have people hide in trees so it wouldn't get tagged. But it's nice to see that people are caring more now.
I worry about the bowl. I worry about the longevity of it, especially because the university has control of it at this time. You know, they did sign a like-kind agreement that should they destroy it, they're supposed to put it back together at another parcel of the city's choosing. I'd rather see them just develop the land. You know, it'd be more fun to do something there and make something unique to us. We're unique. Are you listening to me, Dr. Savoy? Give us a bowl. But more than the bowl, a snake run would be nice with like a bowl and like another snake. and the hippies won't get mad because if you kill those trees, man, they're going to get really upset. Okay, don't forget that.
The direct answer to your question is yes, we'd be interested in sitting down and looking, you know, what would that look like? Where could, you know, we possibly locate it, and then start working on funding. One of the things that come to mind, you know, for a facility like that is some type of private public partnerships where, you know, maybe it's Cane's Chicken who the park would be named after, where they come in and jointly put in funds to help to develop that. There's a number of pizza places, you know, that maybe would be willing to, as one of the community partners, join in with consolidated government to get this accomplished.
Lights. We need lights. Sketchy things go down at night when it's dark at the bowl. I found, if you would come over here at 6 o'clock in the morning, you will find the coolest things on the ground at the bowl. But yeah, no, lights. I would like to have more cop patrols. I was I kept calling the cops for fake notices just to get the cops to come by from those 15-year-olds. They could keep an eye on for graffiti at night too, because there's the Hall of Fame right next to the bowl, which is a place where people go and tag. And it just blows my mind where there's this coulee that's known for tagging. People go there to see graffiti, and they will still tag my fucking bowl instead of tag the coulee. But yeah, more cop patrols and lights.
I guess, like, to put it in the simplest terms, you can't play basketball unless you have a goal and some sort of a court to play on, you know? And a lot of communities, a lot of recreational leagues, and publicly facilitated activities have grown to really, like, become these great things for communities in general. And that all kind of starts around having a centrally located place to go and do those activities. So, like, having a public skateboard park is very important in that way. And that's why a lot of people nation and worldwide are starting to get on that train, because people are kind of waking up to the fact that there are a lot more positives as opposed to negatives whenever you create a situation like that.
Over a period of time, it was a priority for us. We would definitely welcome and entertain any discussions as to moving forward. So, no, the city is not turned off on it, and you know, from the Parks and Recreation Department, what we try to do is provide those activities and programs that the citizens want. So, if there was a large hue and cry that, you know, what's currently being operated on the university property is not sufficient, then we would go through the budget process, which would be identifying what it is we were looking at, get a cost analysis, go to the council and see at some point where could we fit this in budgeting. But as long as I'm on board and the director, no, we're open and receptive. And I can tell you, you know, especially for the college students, we want it. I mean, without this university and this community, what would it look like? Yeah. So we want to be inclusive, and the students that are in college are part of this community. So if there's an activity or a program, and there's an opportunity for us to partner, we would be interested.
Lafayette has a problem with support of a lot of things. We're paying the same millage on our property tax for Parks and Recreation that we've been paying since I was born, folks. 53 fucking years. That's a long time. So if we had more money to support our parks like Baton Rouge and Breck, look at that. You know, they were able to raise a ton of money by making a very small tax across a small parish area or a small district area and raise $12 million almost immediately. You know, you can do amazing things, but you have to commit. You know, everybody here whines about taxes, taxes, taxes. Well, You know, apparently, I don't think we pay a whole lot of taxes because look at our goddamn roads, our goddamn parks, our goddamn infrastructure. It sucks. So please step up, support, you know, and I'm not saying just support us, but it's, you got to support the whole community.
That's a real hard question, man. Like, I don't understand skateboarding.
It's all about freedom, being creative, being true to yourself.
That's a hard question for even me to ask. Like, I think as anybody that's a real skateboarder can't really explain that because it's just unexplainable. It's this piece of wood. We can't explain it. It's just an extension of our soul. It's who we are. It's our passion. And if there's nothing wrong with it, then we keep doing it. Just like a ballet dancer picks a pair of ballet shoes, that's like her tool. You know, it's just an outlet and can't really explain that. That's just a passion she found and works for her. And same thing with skateboarders, I feel like it's kind of unexplainable.
It's the one great thing that you have to earn it.
It's a, you know, it's a stupid toy. It's just the goddamnedest thing.
You can't buy it. You can't come from a privileged family. You have to earn it fair and square.
You know, why do I have to think about it before I go to sleep? And I don't even do it as much as I used to. I don't get it. You know, I want everyone to understand that I don't understand.
If you're willing to get hurt and willing to put up with a lot of crap, it's something that once you learn how to do, you'll never stop. It's an art form unto itself. The whole point is you get to pick the line.
And you will pay the price, but you will have fun. And it is a good thing. It builds character. It builds open-mindedness. It builds tolerance for other people.
We're not all drunks. We're not all shitheads. Other than that, yeah, it's a sport. It's fun. I like just riding around the neighborhood. I switched my boards the other day. It's nice. It's fun.
This was grown out of the streets, and normal people and jocks didn't understand it. We get pissed on, fought. Now it's going to be in the Olympics, which all of that just coming from the old school, it's hard to interpret what it's going into.
Who knows? There is no direction. And it's something that, even though we're building skate parks and you're kind of containing it, you're never going to contain it. It's, yeah. Someone shook that bottle of Coca-Cola up a long time ago. It's done.
And to know that anything good is gonna take work, and you're gonna pay. You're gonna pay with blood and sweat. Anything good in life comes from that. And that's what skateboarding is all about, and that's what it taught me.
It's more than just riding a board. It's who you identify as in a way, and it's who your friends are. There's people that obviously like skate, you know, casually, but when you're really in it, it's not even a casual thing. It overwhelms your whole life, and you can't get out of it even if you try. You're not a normal person anymore. You're just a skateboarder, and you're a weird person. You hang out with weird people, but it's the only thing you can do. You don't really have a choice anymore.
I mean, it's that there's way too much to talk about. This is never going to be like long enough.
John Zan cries easy. It's life. It's what we do. I honestly wish everybody could enjoy that feeling.
All right, we are rolling.
You gotta clap in front. Can
You want to clap again? Perfect.
Okay, cool.